Shout out to my fiance for the greatest gift I ever received. This was a Christmas gift from last year. It has my initials on it and everything. Anyway, the OnePlus 8 Pro is one of those smartphones that seems to get better with age. The £350 smartphone on the used market stands out for its impressive display, performance and camera stack, but is that enough to be worth your money over the newer OnePlus 9? Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas and today I'm going to be talking about the OnePlus 8 Pro in 2022. You can pick up one of these for around £300, around the same price as the OnePlus 9, but you're likely to find it more around £350 to £50 more than the OnePlus 9, which sounds a bit counterintuitive, but compared to the 9, the 8 Pro has a telephoto lens, a higher resolution screen, a 10 mAh battery, yes, a very slightly bigger battery, and in my opinion, a much nicer design. It's not as quick, nor does it have as fast charging, but those are reasonable compromises in my opinion. Of course, it being a year older, OnePlus will serve just one fewer platform upgrade over the OnePlus 9, meaning that you should get Android 13, in fact this has been confirmed, but you're likely not going to get Android 14. If you do, it's a bonus. What you will get though is an additional year of software support and security patches after that platform upgrade, so 2 years of software support is available if you bought this phone right now, which is pretty good going. It's currently running Oxygen OS 12 based on Android 12. It's a pretty nice looking interface, it's very clean and it doesn't deviate hugely from what would be stock Android. It runs really well as you'd expect on this high-end hardware. The 8 Pro sports a Snapdragon 865 5G and 8 or 12 GB of RAM with 128 or 256 gigs of storage respectively. This hardware may not be groundbreaking by today's standards, but is still enough to run relatively high-end games well. I found games like COD Mobile to be more than playable, though the phone does get quite warm when doing so. When it comes to your standard day-to-day tasks, like subscribing to this YouTube channel and checking out my new podcast, links in the video description, it runs absolutely flawlessly, and I don't see a reason why you wouldn't buy one of these if you just wanted a phone that ran well and looks good. But of course there's more to the OnePlus 8 Pro than that. I have to say I really enjoyed using the 8 Pro's 6.78-inch 1440p 120Hz OLED screen. It ticks all the boxes, even in 2022. It looks great, it's sharp, it's bright, it's colourful, it's detailed, it looks incredible. Now it gives you the option to turn down from 1440p to 1080p and from 120Hz to 60Hz if you really wanted to extend the battery life, but I found that even with both of these settings cranked up to full, you're able to get a full day of battery life out of the OnePlus 8 Pro with no worries. The rest of the chassis feels solid, it feels well made, it looks the part. The curved edges may not be the most practical as they can cause glare at the edges and they're easier to break, but they look incredible and they help the phone fit in your hand more comfortably. This gorgeous colour helps the design stand out in my opinion, and actually I really like the centre placed camera stack. Pretty much everyone and their dog are using dominoes in the top corner and they just don't look that good. This looks better. You are also offered IP68 water and dust resistance, which I'll certainly take as a UK resident, and the in-display fingerprint scanner. This is pretty good, but it's not as good as the OnePlus 8 in my opinion, and definitely better than the OnePlus 8T, so it sits in that weird middle ground. It's decent, it works some to most of the time, but it's not as accurate as some others, especially Samsung. They tend to do the best ones in my opinion, but it's not as bad as the horrific OnePlus 8T's one. Maybe this is software, maybe this is hardware, I don't know, they're just my findings though. You get 30 watt wireless charging, 30 watt fast charging, both are very good, and the fast charger is in the box whereas the wireless charger you will have to buy separately, and of course it has 3 watt reverse wireless charging for things like earbuds. It's not going to blow your socks off, but it's a nice thing to have. Battery life, as I mentioned earlier, is good. It's not outstanding, and being that this phone is a couple of years old at this point, you're likely to get some battery degradation. So where you might have expected to get a full day before, get say sort of 70 to 80% of a day and just scale that accordingly. I could easily get a full day of usage out of the 8 Pro. Like I said, use the higher end settings with mostly Wi-Fi but a bit of 4G as well. But I get around 2 to 3 hours of screen on time on my device because I just don't use it that much. I sit at a desk at work with a computer, and when I come home I'm either on the TV or at my desk. So 2 to 3 hours of screen on time, ending the day with about 40% battery life. Pretty good in my books. Now, what is great is the camera performance. No, it's not the best of its generation, though it does have a good hardware stack as a starting point. 48 megapixel main, 48 megapixel ultra wide, 8 megapixel telephoto with a 16 megapixel selfie camera. These sensors are so in size for the time, with the main obviously having the biggest of the three on the back, and it produces the best photos, surprise, surprise. That said, the ancillary cameras don't do a bad job, especially in favourable lighting conditions such as overcast days outside and under bright indoor lights. There's a healthy selection of modes, including the standard portrait and night modes, and to be honest, the 8 Pro surprised me in a good way, just like the 8 did that I reviewed not long ago. I liked the colour profile, as it doesn't overdo everything like some of its Chinese contemporaries, though I will say that night mode isn't this phone's strong suit, so if you're into going outside taking night photos, maybe avoid this one. It's not awful by any means, but I think that Samsung, Google and Apple do it way better. Huawei probably do as well, though I haven't used one of their modern devices in a very long time. Put it this way, I wouldn't discard the 8 Pro as an option because of poor camera performance, because it simply isn't poor performance. Though I will say that its focus on other features is definitely clear here. Overall, I really like the OnePlus 8 Pro, and I think it's a great option on the used market. The only reason that I would recommend the 9 over the 8 Pro, well, there are a couple. One is the extra year of software support and therefore 1 year extra of the platform upgrade, so it will get Android 14, but also the fact that it's just quicker. It has the later generation SoC, and so it's going to run faster. Though it does compromise on a design, in my opinion, it just doesn't look as nice as the 8 Pro, and of course it's missing that 8 megapixel telephoto camera as well. The 8 Pro is a really nice smartphone, and if you're on the fence about buying one, I would recommend it. And that pretty much leaves today's video, guys. So I want to give a massive shout out to Damien Wild for sending out this smartphone to review. It was great to check out this and the 8 and the 9 recently, and really re-jogged my memory on just how good OnePlus phones used to be. I can't speak for anything later than the 9 because I just haven't had access to those. I want to give a massive shout out to my patrons for being continually supportive, and please do check out all my social media links in the video description, as well as my new podcast, because it's super awesome and you should definitely check that out. Also, really sorry if you heard a lot of rain in this video. The window is just behind you and it's been raining pretty heavily, but I haven't really had time to make a lot of these videos recently, and I'm trying to cram it all into one go. Huge thanks to the support. Please do like, comment, all that stuff. Massive shout out to my patrons. I'm not sure if I've said that already, but you know, I've made like 4 videos on the trot now, so I'm just, you know, going through the process. Anyway, I've been Ryan Thomas. Check out Damien Wild in the description, and I'll see you later. Peace.